Sports. And all eyes are on Javonte Williams. He was steady for them on the ground a week ago, reaching the century mark and adding a score. It's the Broncos and the Raiders, and it comes your way next on EA Sports.
Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. Today, it's Week 4. We've got what should be a great one here between the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. And CD, you look at the Raiders in this matchup. Their offense is a unit that's not afraid to take chances out there, but not always for the better. What do you see them trying to do here?
I think they'll continue to take those chances, Brandon, but to me, they have to do it in a measured way. And what I mean by that, they can't just come into a game and throw caution to the wind and just say we're going to run a bunch of gadget plays, a lot of reverses, end arounds, all of those things. They've got to identify the spots where they want those plays to pay off, which means you have to set them up, and then when they present themselves, take full advantage.
Two teams each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in Week 4. Takes it at the 7th. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Now here's Russell Wilson, 11th season in the league. First, of course, with Denver after a high-profile trade this offseason that saw him dealt from Seattle.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
Here's Wilson to throw right away. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. To throw again on second down. Wilson forced out to his left. He's got a man complete. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 33 yards that time. They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he's going to be close to a first down as he gets this to the Raiders' 27. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The kick by McManus is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
And one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
That is the Raiders take over on offense. We get to see the man who has been the leader of this team for 9 seasons now, under center Derek Carr.
I loved his quote during the week. If I were a defensive back, I would have wanted to play against me last week as well. He's trying to eliminate those turnovers, those interceptions, and get back on the positive side of the ledger, throwing touchdown passes.
Yeah, had 4 of those picks, led to the loss. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. The Raiders are 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they got off to a good start, but then 2 straight losses since.
And now you start to wonder about what this does for a team's morale, how it affects their psyche, because, let's face it, you work all summer pointing toward that opening game, you get the win, but then you don't carry it on from there. How will they bounce back from these losses and try and get right?
Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. From midfield, here's Carr.
They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
On play action, now Carr. And that is incomplete.
This defense for the Broncos, they were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always say, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%. I haven't seen that number quantified, but I believe them.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And they will get to this one and down it at the 13-yard line. The Broncos and Cortland Sutton heading back out there.
There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
It kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front and they have the backups, right? He's the guy out front because the backups, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we're going to the headliner each and every time. And that's not easily done because, you know, all the defenses are kicking towards him right now. That means he's fighting his way through traffic, finding ways to get open, even when he's not supposed to be.
The numbers on the ground for Williams a week ago. 9 carries, 101 yards, and a score.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he's just seeing the field so well. But don't forget about his offensive line. They've really asserted their will out there and are confident they can repeat it again this week.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Got it, and now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield, and the Raiders pick it up. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. You got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense.
Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Second down, Jacobs once more. And hold on here because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs.
And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. Now they'll throw with Carr. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by Patrick Onwuasor.
And the Broncosans are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're saying right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
He talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds.
After 1 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Now we give up the middle to Williams. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 2nd and 12, Wilson. That's out to the flag for Gordon.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have.
Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches.
The handoff goes to Gordon, running left. And he spins past him and into space. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. That good for 19 and a first down.
Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy's made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he sidestepped one man, but reinforcements come to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Play action. It's Wilson.
He'll get that complete to Albert O.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Like what I see. Defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
The kick by McManus is good, and they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Carr now to throw. And he'll find Moreau here. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. Now Carr. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first.
How many times do we hear that 3rd down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the first down marker is, dives for it, and gets it.
Oh, looking for Waller, but this is intercepted.
Picked off by Justin Simmons. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. From the 29, Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7.
A kicker fest so far. All points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here.
Now they run from the gun with Gordon. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Now it's Wilson.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that Williams loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
4th down, Wilson trots off, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Denver field goal.
From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by McManus is good, and that will make this a 9-point lead.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
2 fantastic games coming up to wrap up Week 4, the first weekend in October. Tonight, the Chiefs and Buccaneers from Tampa. That's a rematch of Super Bowl 55, of course. And then Monday night, rematch of last year's NFC Championship game, the Rams and Niners from Santa Clara. Coverage on that one, 8:15 Eastern.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Lots of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson.
And the Broncos are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
Albert Okurebunom, the intended target.
Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. To throw is Wilson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Wilson. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Throwing again here, Wilson. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Raider offense heading back for one final first half drive.
And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation, either side of the ball.
He's got a man, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Throwing on 1st down is Carr.
Again, it's Johnson. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. Carlson able to put this one through. And that lead is back down to 9 now.
Still trailing here, but they do get the lead field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
So time perhaps for one final kneel down before they take this lead to the locker room. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. We'll get started out in Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston, where you see the final score there. Austin Eckler, 2 touchdown runs to lead the way. From there, it's off to North Carolina to check on the Panthers at home in Charlotte. And this one going the visitors' way as the Cardinals have the lead in that one. A.J. Green, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And they've gone to the half, all even at 14 apiece.
Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Broncos. And their passing game has been the reason why they lead thus far. They've had great success moving the ball through 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they too didn't throw the ball as well as they would have liked. And I think both teams would say there's room for improvement in the second half. Both teams making their final adjustments before we get started once again. And for the call of the second half, let's send you back out to Allegiant Stadium and Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. Taking it about the 1. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. And he's looking to take much better care of the football here in half 2 after 3 first-half interceptions.
We don't have to just look strictly at the numbers here. You know what else happens to a team when you turn it over 3 times like that? It erodes confidence in you. And it erodes confidence in the offense. And now you have the defensive guys looking over and saying, what is going on here? And instead of playing for the team, they're playing angry and mad at their teammates.
9 yards is the pickup there. They'll have a 2nd and 1. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. A gain of just 1. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 42 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs from the gun. And he'll take this down to the 33.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's going to get this down near the 25. What they talked about at halftime, whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
To throw his Carr.
Working the middle here, that's complete to Moreau, the tight end. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Back to the running game with Jacobs.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs.
But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Now a toss to the left for Jacobs.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Third quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10.
Carr going to throw. A quick throw, but incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with a short touchdown,
Davante Adams with career touchdown number 75.
And the Raiders have got it back to within a score.
And that score there makes this a much more manageable deficit.
Agreed, because before that touchdown, this looked like this was about over. Instead, they've got hope. They're back in the game. They feel better about themselves, and now they have a chance to make some more plays.
Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And the lead is down to 2. So that drive spans 13 plays.
And Davante Adams able to finish things with a touchdown reception.
So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away.
Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25.
So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half.
But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. There's Wilson to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
It's a gain of 6. First down.
Off the option, here's Williams.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Wilson. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. Up the middle, it's Williams. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well.
It's a gain of 6. First down.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now Gordon on first down. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. Throwing is Wilson. And his throw here's incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And that will be incomplete. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to at least make it a 5-point cushion. And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and that will keep this a 2-point game. Had a chance to give themselves there some important wiggle room, but what a ride.
Yeah, let's do the simple math here. And you know, for me, it has to be simple. Instead of this thing kind of giving them that wiggle room you talked about, Now we're talking about possibly losing a ball game because they left the door open.
And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Running the toss here to Jacobs. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up.
We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Here's Carr to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs, his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Raiders have taken a 4th quarter lead. And quite the comeback here. They have erased that deficit, pushed themselves out in front now here in this 4th quarter.
This game's kind of felt like a horse race, hasn't it, partner? Because you have the other guys run out to their big lead, but then slowly and surely, they've been creeping up and closing that gap. Now they're stuck ahead in front here late in the game. The finish line's not far away. They need their defense to finish this thing off.
Carlson on for the PAT. And the lead is up to 5. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
Here comes Darius Phillips out of the end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field.
The pressure is on now. They're being shut out here in the 2nd half after a decent first half offensively. But they need their best drive of the game right here.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down. Now Wilson. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line.
Now it's Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Normally he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away.
Abdullah to return.
And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47.
And it'll be Raiders football 1st and 10.
So here are the Raiders now to take over. They've lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
The Raiders on third down. They've been flat getting it done, 8 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5.
He's got Renfro on the out route.
And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. To throw, it's Carr. Flushed, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Randy Gregory able to record his 5th sack of the season. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Renfro bringing it in over the middle.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Here's Carr. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Picked off by Josie Jewell.
And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. After the interception, here's Wilson. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunate for him, incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Wilson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Credit the sack there to Chandler Jones.
So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. Wilson to throw.
On a bad time late for a poor throw. It's intercepted. Picked off by Rocky Sin.
Jacobs going to try the middle. And he's taken down inside the 30. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Here's a handoff to Jacobs running left. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
They'll run right here with Jacobs. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do and kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
This is taken just shy of the 10. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
So Russell Wilson in the offense. Down by 8. A little over 50 seconds remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle. Kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Wilson. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
They've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't.
And the comeback may stall out. It's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Sin. And the Raiders have just about sewn up this football game. When you think about it, though, that interception great for his stats, but bad for field position. It was 4th down.
Yeah, terrific observation. If there is going to be a silver lining, and this is what he'll plead when it comes time to watch it again, hey, it was just like a punt, right? So we end up taking possession of the ball. But you're exactly right about it. Should have slapped it down. Field position would be better for his offense. But how many times do you get a chance to make an interception that you turn it down? That's when your instinct kicks in and you take the football. In this case, a better decision would have been to knock the ball down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Carr down to a knee, and that ought to just about do it.
And there it is, the standard symbol. Taking a knee means that one team won, and the other one obviously lost the ball game. But now, that team that won is 2-2. After the first 4 games, I think they're okay with a 2-2 start. Not overly happy, but at the same time, not depressed either.
You mentioned to me breaking down a season in quarters. So the first quarter is kind of a check, as you said, for okay. Not great, not bad.
Yeah, right now they're just holding serve. They look forward to their next 4. Maybe they can make a surge there.
Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So for Las Vegas,
it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for Denver, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts.